guys, welcome back to a channel where we talk about things. My name is Katie and I'm an aspiring wedding photographer here in the lovely state of North Carolina. Or I should say I'm a wedding photographer. There's so much dog hair on my shirt right now. Okay, I wanted to talk about how I have sent my pictures to the lead photographer when I was the second photographer and how I've received images from my second photographer as a lead photographer. And I just want to talk about things I liked, things I didn't like, things I would do differently. But before we get into this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can see more of me. The first wedding that I ever did, I was a second photographer for, and it really wasn't clear how she wanted me to send her my photos. All we made sure was that I was shooting in RAW format, which definitely shoot in RAW if you're not, okay? I'm gonna fidget with this shirt the whole time. Cool. We weren't really clear. I tried to actually upload them into a gallery on Shootproof, but unfortunately, Shootproof does not support my files. My original plan was to just upload them in a Shootproof gallery and then have her download them, but like that wasn't an option because they don't support my files. So what I actually ended up doing, which don't do this, I put all of my files onto my computer, my external hard drive, and I zipped them. So I compressed them into a zip file and then I upload that file into Dropbox and then I shared the Dropbox file with her. I don't recommend that because of a couple reasons. I didn't know if that decreased the quality of my images because I compressed them and then I uploaded them onto Dropbox. And I also have a free Dropbox account, so I had to literally delete everything out of my Dropbox to upload these photos and send them to her. Or there wasn't like any confirmation that she received them or like they were usable. You know what I mean? Like there was no confirmation that she could use them. There's no confirmation that she got them. Nothing. I just shared it to the world. And like she never came back and asked me for anything. So like I assume that she got them. But I don't really suggest that unless you use Dropbox, like you pay for Dropbox and have like a ton of storage. But again, I don't know how it necessarily would like distort or compress your images because I've heard of people uploading your images and then trying to download them and then they get kind of funky. I definitely prefer to have the actual raw file in its raw form, I guess. So the second way that I delivered my photos, I was told to upload them into SmugMug, that name. So he sent me a link and just told me to upload my photos. There was a little bit of a communication error, so it wasn't allowing me to upload. Anyway, it took a minute, but I finally got to where I could upload photos. And again, it did not support the raw files. So I kind of was like, hey, what's up? What do I do? And what I had to do was convert all of them to JPEG and then send them to him. So again, I don't suggest using that kind of platform because JPEGs are like a compressed file. You can't edit them the same. Like it's hard to explain unless like you're editing because I've gone back and like re-edited some of my old pictures that I shot in JPEG and it's terrible. Like it just seems flat, you know what I mean? Let me know if you know what I mean. So those were two ways that I delivered my photos. And so I know I didn't want to do that. And I was actually going to be a second photographer for somebody else, but like a family issue came up and I could no longer do that. But we discussed how I would give her my photos and she suggested that I photograph on my own card, so my own like memory cards, and just give them to her at the end of the day and she'll mail them back to me. And I just didn't feel comfortable with that. Not that I thought she would be dishonest or keep them or anything, but I just don't want to have to wait on the mail. And one thing, being a second photographer, I will not do the gig, I guess, if I can't use my own photos. I don't want to go and just use their memory cards. So I didn't want to do that. So I suggested, why don't I just bring my laptop, put the photos onto a jump drive, which I have one that's like 200 gigabyte or something, put them on that laptop, put them on the jump drive and give you the jump drive that you can mail back to me, but I get to keep my memory cards. And that was what we agreed upon, which I think would have been okay, but I will say the laptop that I have does not have like an SD card reader and a USB port. It would have taken a really long time is what I'm saying, but I do prefer that option over mailing my cards back to me, only because I don't want to wait on the mail. But another thing that I have seen a lot of people do is that the lead photographer will give you their memory cards and you just shoot on them all day and then you give them back. But I don't necessarily like doing it that way because I want to keep my own pictures. So if I'm going to do this, I want to be able to use my photos on my portfolio. You know, I'm putting in the work as well. I know lead photographer, there is a bit more pressure, but I don't know, my thought is you're still putting in your time and your work. You should keep your pictures. So I mean, if that's something that you do and that's fine. I think it's a very effective way of doing it. So you get the pictures right then and there. But again, it's like, how do you give those back to the second photographer if they want to use them? So when I hired a second photographer, I made a decision. At first, I was just gonna give her a flash drive, have her take it home, put her pictures on the flash drive, send it back to me. But again, I didn't want to wait on the mail. So what I did actually was I brought a laptop that has multiple USB ports and also like a card reader in it. So I brought that and just took her cards there. Like we sat in the car after the wedding, plugged the card in, and I just copied them over to my external hard drive. It took a while. I mentioned in a previous video that we are both overshooters, so she had about 3,000 pictures for me to drag over, and it took about an hour to transfer them over to the external hard drive. So the only benefit of that is that I get the photos immediately and she doesn't even have to give me her cards. Like, she gets to keep her cards. We both get the photos that we took and I can start editing them immediately. I don't have to wait in the mail to get the flash drive because you never know with the mail. I mean, they could lose it or it could be really late, and our mail's been really late lately. Okay, so there's just a lot of unknowns. This way it's really certain, it's really for sure. I know the images aren't gonna be compressed. It just was really time consuming, so that's definitely a con. So I wanna know what you do. Is there a better way of delivering pictures to lead photographers or getting pictures from your second photographers? I want to know what you do. I know there's a lot of husband and wife teams, which would make it so easy because we live in the same place, so like I just take them when we get home. But if you contract somebody out, how do you get their pictures? Or if you're a second photographer, I know some people who are second photographers and that's all they ever want to do because it is a lot more chill, I will say that. A lot less pressure, okay? I know that's what they do. How do you deliver your pictures to the lead photographer? I want to know. So what I've done, and I think this is what I'll probably do in the future, if I'm doing second photography gigs, I'm really just going to do whatever the lead photographer wants me to do. Well, I want to have more discussion before the actual wedding on like, how do you want me to deliver them, and like making sure I can use them on my website and my portfolio and stuff like that. So I think having a conversation beforehand is really important. But whenever I contract or hire second photographers, I think I'll do exactly what I did. Like just, hey, just plan to stay a little extra. I'm gonna drag them right over to my external hard drive. Like, I already paid you. We never have to talk again if you don't want to. I want to talk. I think that's what I'll do from now on, unless somebody, like, let me know. Is there a better way? I want to know if there's a better way. Like, for real. For real. I want to know if there's a better way. Please let me know. Okay? But that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!